This meeting is being recorded.
Welcome to the Bodhi Bros. I'm John with a J with a fractal background today.
And I'm Phoenix Ray. What's going on?
Not much, man. Just being silly, trying to let off some steam and open into the moment. And speaking of which, the moment's upon us, right? What do we intend to do with those moments?
All right. So we're gonna pull a card. I'm gonna go over and describe a little bit. This is a newer deck that I got a few months. I haven't really played around too much with it. It's a very unique deck. It's called the Archeo. So it deals with archetypes.
That picture looks like a combination of Gandhi and a cat.
Yeah, a little like a Gandhi and I don't know what it is. Looks like some sort of like plumbing or something on top.
All right.
And so this is we'll go over this deck. Let me read this.
Where'd you find it? What brought you
to
the deck?
Where did I get it? I got like a Borders like that. Yeah, I got it at Borders. This says New York Times bestselling author and artist Nick Van Tock presents groundbreaking oracle deck that helps you create your personal mythology. Picture your inner life as a hero's quest, and this deck as your brand of faithful companions.
Oh, it seems that Ray has frozen on us.
Archeo includes 40 archetype skills, gifts, and personalities. Did I freeze?
Yeah, you did for a moment, which was
okay.
Interesting, but now you're
so
back.
It includes 40 different archetype cards, guidebook detailing each one's skills, gifts, personalities, and 2 blank cards to create your own archetype characters. So this is what the cards look like. See, these are all different archetypes that represent parts of the self. Here's the 2 blank cards, but here's what the back of the cards look like. You could see it looks almost a little bit like your background, actually.
Nice.
And then the cards themselves have very kind of artistic drawing on them of all the different archetypes, 40 of them.
All right, interesting.
And let's see, what does it say? It says in here too, the beginning.
So are you drawing one card today? What do you doing?
I think we'll draw 1 card, and then if we need to draw another one, that we will.
Well, if we need to draw another one, surprise, new deck,
Rainbow Warrior
activation deck. This was given to me as a gift. I haven't used it in a show yet, so yay.
Yeah, it says the cards do not purport to be oracles for divining the future, nor are they capable of mysteriously changing your psyche. Instead, they are means by which you can tap into your better instincts, much like the I Ching, and they work with your soul's core. Cool. So, in a way, I think it's kind of like the way I use this deck. It may be a part of myself, an archetype that I'm repressing, that needs to come out, kind of like a shadow self. Or it could be whatever archetype that I need to bring out that wants to come out for me to do whatever it is when I'm pulling the card for it, whatever circumstance that is. This is the energy that I need to connect with.
So, okay, just to be clear for our audience, you are not going to be pulling a card specifically for you. You are going to be pulling a card for anyone that happens upon this video, because by way of doing that, you've made yourself a match to this message, so to speak, correct?
Correct. So in the book too, it has the attribute, the persona of each one. Then it has in the back, it has a little small paragraph, like a little parable about it as well, each one. So let's do it. So I'm gonna knock out the old energy.
Here we flow. Clear your minds, clear your hearts, prepare yourselves to receive this beautiful message from Phoenix Ray.
All right, let's go with this. Looks like we have the wolf. So this is the wolf archetype that we pulled, as you see. So,
Yummy.
and all of us have these archetypes within us.
Okay.
Some of them might be dormant. All right, this is the attribute of the wolf. The wolf will not allow you to be neutered or let you become estranged from your animal nature. By acknowledging him, you are not giving up on your humanity. You are accepting your core's origin. The wolf gives you back your instincts and helps you resist the constraints placed upon you by the polite society. Persona. When you are lost, confused, blinded by the light, or stumbling through the dark, the wolf will be your guide. All paths are known to him. No matter the terrain, forest, plain, or wasteland, the wolf has traveled that byway before. But if you wish his assistance, you must first lose your fear of his animal nature and your squeamishness around death and desire. Accept the wolf for who and what he is, and never try to tether or chain him. Walk beside him, mimic his footsteps, grow your senses, and avoid pointless noise. Together we all are half wolves, aware wolves, and we should neither suppress our hungers nor let them run amok. Wolf has no need to be taken into society's bosom. He hunts and mates for vitality's sake. His wants and his needs aren't in contradiction. Though an individual creature, his brothers and sisters will come to his side in the blink of an eye if needed.
All right, I love this message for lots of reasons. To me, it's a resounding, beautiful and gentle reminder to trust yourself, to believe in that inherent power that's in all of us, and to walk with that confidently. And amidst the clamoring, the clattering, the chattering, the blah, blah, blahing of society, family, all these voices and influences around you, all the know-it-all stuff, the jargon that's dumped upon us, the propaganda, the bluff from whatever, whomever, and if ever it's happening to you and yours, trust yourself and the voice and the voices within, and walk with the wolf. Don't be scared of the wolf's power. A lot of us are taught or programmed to be small and to not shine bright and be big and ferocious. But I love this message because these themes are popping up for me personally lately, and maybe they are for you as well. And yeah, it's okay to have different ideas than the things that we're seeing around us. And what it says, what I really love, is the wolf has walked all the paths inside yourself, in the core of yourself. You have all the answers. You may not have traveled to every continent or every country around the world, but maybe your soul in some way, in some other timeline, in some other dimension, whatever you believe or can feel into, has. And if it hasn't, it can if it wants to. So there's that essence again, that power. So give yourself the opportunity to trust that and to really walk with the wolf. And again, despite the noise all around you, and some of those noises might be good noises, they might be supporting noises, they might be, loving noises. But the ones telling you, oh, that one, I don't know if you want to do that business, or if you want to go into that relationship, or blah, la, 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 like, time to bring it in and tap into you. Ray, what do you think?
Yeah, I think this is a part of ourselves that a lot of spiritual people neglect, and they judge and they shame. Sometimes it's that primal animal part of us. We try to push that stuff down because sometimes we're afraid of that power. We're afraid to stand out. We're afraid to, especially people who are people please, people who think that they have to be nice and spiritual and kind and all light and love, and see that part of themselves as negative. And the more you suppress that, the more it's going to try to come out. And it's usually going to come out in some sort of unhealthy unhealthy way. So that part of us can, it's keeping us safe. It's keeping us out of danger. It's keeping us from being possibly in a codependent relationship. Where maybe we're sort of betraying ourselves in some way, and that wolf part is like, we ain't taking that. We ain't taking that.
Right.
And so we have to allow that energy to come up and accept that. And when we do, it instead of, we could work with it instead of letting it control us, and use that energy, use that wolf energy. And we gotta walk our own. Sometimes we gotta walk our own path, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Feed the hungry wolf. Feed the hungry wolf is what I hear you saying, man.
Yeah, hungry like the wolf.
Feed it. Feed it. I mean, like, make friends with the scary, ferocious wolf, because it's a part of you if you allow it to be, right?
Exactly.
And that doesn't mean you're going to hurt people, right? It doesn't mean you're going to hurt people or be scary to people. Well, you might. Your energy might come across as scary to some, but that's just something that they're scared by it or triggered by it because they've repressed, suppressed, denied that energy and that entity within themselves, because they don't feel it's safe, or that it's okay to be the wolf.
Right. Or there could be, they could be somewhat narcissists themselves, and they don't want you to tap into your own power because they like that. They like that you're kind of keeping you sort of weak, keeping you sort of small, because it makes them comfortable in themselves. So I'm going to read the little, there's a little passage here about the wolf's tail. The forest's looping paths offer no clear points of reference. The disoriented human goes around in circles. The wolf watches. Before long, the befuddled man halts, head in hands, wondering what possessed him to take such a shortcut. When he looks up, the wolf is standing in front of him. As a child, he's been petrified of fictional wolves. Now faced with a large real one, he knows he is about to die. But he's wrong, as he has been about most things, because the wolf, spreading its jaws, gently takes his sleeve and guides him to the forest edge.
Wow.
That's pretty good.
It's a beautiful image.
Yeah.
Powerful consideration for sure, man. Like, look, I'm so guilty of this, as many of us, I'm sure, are. And that's, by way of our programs and our childhood fears and et cetera, blah, 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 not making excuses, what is. But a lot of us go, I don't want to be judged. I don't want to be judged. I don't want to be judged. We're constantly doing the same thing, with the covers of books or with the monsters and tales and stuff. And those encounters in our life become merely just our projections. If we look closely, if we listen more deeply to these things that most trigger us, that most frighten us, I believe there to be love and a kinship at the core of that, and like you said, the wolf, oh, here it is, certain death.
Right.
Actually, this big, beautiful creature is about to guide you to a life that you never imagined possible.
Yeah, it was there to rescue you.
Right.
It kind of, this kind of rings true for me a little bit too. When I was going through that relationship a few years ago, and where the person I was dating was cheating on me, and the signs were all there.
This comes up a lot for Ray, by the way.
Yeah, and my instincts were 100% right, but I was just gaslighting myself because I was like, no, she wouldn't do no, and I would just I'm not gonna challenge it. I'm gonna ignore that. And that wolf inside me was like, that was that wolf's energy, that wolf of, seeing that and just being like ferocious and being like, yeah, it's sometimes scary energy. Using that energy, sometimes that energy to confront somebody about something that's uncomfortable. Ooh. But you have to do that in order to free yourself. Yeah. And if I would have listened to that wolf energy sooner, I would have spared myself
So,
a lot of pain along the way.
Feed the wolf. Oh man,
And
I
I
could
think-
I could see all the imagery now for our background. It's got to be epic, man, for this thumbnail, if I should say.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that people go to that, and sometimes it's that wolf energy keeps coming to be like, no, you're going around in circles in life, making the same decisions, getting the same outcomes, and that wolf inside you is like, no, it knows better. Sometimes it's just a real little voice inside of you, and you got to listen to that. And I think we've all gone through that, where we've looked back and been like, man, I should have just listened to that, and I should have taken that action, and spared myself. And
Yeah, because the wolf doesn't want to pace in circles. The wolf wants to go hunt. The wolf wants
Right.
to create and move through the forest or the wilderness, if you will. And is there as a beautiful reminder, like, hey, this toilet bowl situation is shit, man. It's time to bounce out and go grab a big slice of life pie and feed the wolf.
Feed the wolf. So is there a time when you had to tap into energy to kind of get yourself out of maybe a situation or a rut you've been in?
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, for sure. Didn't expect you to throw that at me, but yeah, absolutely. And it like you said, it's that moment, it's that decision. It's like you feel it, and it's right there, and it's like, come on, man, you can go this way and be the okay, boss. Like, you're right. I'll go do this, and then turn your head like the cowardly, dog, or the beaten down dog, if you will, right? And like, just spare me the rod, like, don't, like, okay, we've been here before, don't fire me or whatever. Or F that S, baby, like, I'm the wolf, right? Like, and have I allowed myself to be the wolf? Yes, but it's scary. It's scary because you're taught, you're told, and you're programmed that that's bad. Wolf eats Red Riding Hood, the wolf, big bad wolf. Big bad wolf. My gosh, how many times is that injected into us? The wolf is bad. The wolf, and like you said, portrayed in stories, media, whatever. And horror movies, it's the werewolf, and werewolf doesn't have to necessarily mean or be a bad thing. You and I know people that admittingly call themselves, werewolf. Like, when you ask them their spirit animal, they identify with that particular being. And they're some of the most beautiful people I've ever met, right? And they're not out eating things and causing havoc amidst the night. They're actually doing beautiful work on this planet and trying to make change within themselves and in turn others. So yes, without being specific to answer your question, absolutely yes. But it was not easy in the moment. It was terrifying.
Yeah, I think we're afraid of losing ourselves in that energy. That's what I think it is. I think we're afraid that energy is going to possess us, and it's going to like overpower. We're going to be overpowering, and it's going to cause us to make some sort of like dramatic shift that we're not prepared for. But I think that wolf energy, it definitely needs to be balanced. It definitely needs to be balanced with the heart. I mean, because sometimes you see people who are over. Sometimes you see people who are have too much of that energy, and there's not enough balance in it, and it can be sort of abusive, or you can get out of hand. But I think for most people, though, the people who are scared of that energy are people who probably aren't. It's not going to overpower. It's not going to overtake them. You have that balance of the heart, and just trust in yourself. Trust that heart's still going to be there. Even, allow that to come up and bring balance to it. Because if you repress that, it's just going to be, it's going to come out bad. It's going to come out real bad.
Yeah. Instead of a benevolent wolf, you'll come out a rabid, malicious wolf, and that's almost beyond your control, because for so long you have suppressed and in a sense you've abused your inner wolf. So you've you've hurt that wolf by not allowing it. You've hurt that wolf by pushing it aside, right? And so when it does finally come out, just be mindful, if you've been doing this for a long time, it will in the moment be scared, but that's okay. Just allow it to, don't, like Ray said, you know, be very mindful of it consuming you, and you going to, like, when the wolf comes up, that doesn't mean attack. It means, here's the wolf, now let's listen. Because the wolf doesn't inherently want to hurt, right? The wolf,
Right.
like all creatures on this planet, want to love, right? They're not here to hurt you, right? Sharks are not put on the planet to hurt you. Sharks are put here to be sharks, right? So, but they too get, you know, horrible raps. Anyway, that's another conversation for another day. But yeah, that's a great deck, man. I'm glad Borders is still in business.
And yeah, and even I could tell, you know, in my past, I definitely neglected my wolf, that Len energy, and because I always thought anger was something bad,
Right.
and so I would repress anger, and I would pride myself on never being angry.
Right.
Because I always saw anger as a weakness.
Right.
And, you know, I definitely, you know, grew up and seen some examples of unhealthy expressions of anger. So I know that's where it came from,
Right.
why I suppressed it. And I suppressed it, and it did come out in an unhealthy way one time. And that's what I had to go through that experience and allow myself, my inner wolf,
Right.
to come out when it in a healthy ways, and acknowledge the existence of that wolf within me, and nurture it and give it balance and allow it to come to the surface when it needs to, and not suppress that, and allowing that to come out and giving it that space and that acceptance and that love. It comes out in ways that are now that benefit me, that empower me, not destroy me and destroy others around me.
Feed the wolf. Feed the
Be
wolf.
the wolf.
I feel like howling, man. Like we just had a full moon too, so the full.
Yeah, we did.
The cold,
Perfect card.
The cold moon. I don't know what that means
cold
for all
moon.
you moonatics out there. Did I just create something? Moonatics. People that really love the moon. I don't know. I don't know. I love the moon. I'm a self-proclaimed moonatic.
There you go.
I'm sure we can look it up on Urban Dictionary. Hey, you want to new deck it?
Sure.
Right. I mean, do you have anything else you had to read from there or anything?
I think that covers it all.
All right, here's the little booklet. Another blending with the
Rainbow
background.
Warrior.
My fractals, I had fractal backgrounds I downloaded. All right. I pulled one for myself just to warm up the deck before, and it was quite just the image alone like made me smile, which is always not like it touched me. I was like, I love that. Just it was such a touching image. Then the message was great. All right.
Yeah.
Ray, would you like to ready the audience with a few words? Like how should they prepare themselves to receive this message?
All right. So whatever you're asking for right now, this message is for you. Just be open to receive. John's connecting with Spirit right now. And here it comes. He's feeling it. He's in the vibe right now.
No, I want Ray to help me. So I'm gonna spread it out like I did. All right, where do we want to do this? Like, tell me, like, I guess
I'm gonna go right there, right bottom, near the bottom.
Here?
Yeah.
Like right in here somewhere.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, they're still stuck together because they haven't been used very much. Ray, you helped me and us pick my favorite number.
I can't see that. Oh, number 12. Okay.
Number 12. All right.
What's
Much,
is there a
this is,
description?
yeah, there's much different imagery from the first card I pulled. Looked like springtime and flowers. This one looks kind of dark, which is fine. All
Yeah.
right, let me take off these not glasses. All right, balance, duality, transition, teacher, transformation, void, density, unconscious. Wow, the last card was like one word. So the darkness showed him the ways his life had not been his own. All this time, she'd been doing the secret bidding of the dark angel, unaware of the creeping impact on her view. When you are unaware of the unconscious spiritual patterns that drive you, ultimately, they will change the circumstances of your life. At times, you are looking for light in a dark place. At others, you are the light in a dark place. At the end of every cycle, there is a transition to a new beginning. It is the most dangerous time in the course of events and should be respected with reverence and caution. Sometimes it is filled with depression, anxiety, and apathy. Feeling disconnected and careless, even for a time, holds great power and requires immense discipline. Restless disregard, which may arise from having been freed of ties and obligations belonging to the previous phase, can easily cause you to miss the gems that will prepare you for the cycle ahead. The good news, you are assured that darkness always gives way to light, and there will be a time to move forward again.
Wow. It's kind of a dark reading, but I think it kind of ties into the last one with the wolf.
Yeah, do it for me, man. Lace it up for us, Ray. Do it.
Trusting that, going in that, you're in a dark space right there. Things aren't going right. You're going around in circles. You feel stagnant. And maybe it's that wolf energy is what brings you out of that. Maybe it's that primal force, and that maybe that's what the balance is. Maybe the balance is that primal energy that you've been withholding within yourself. Maybe it's that masculine energy that you need to kind of like take that charge and bust through that cycle that you're in. And because it can't be creation. Everything goes through a cycle of destruction and then creation. You need that destruction for something new to come up. That's the Shiva energy. The
Right.
Shiva is destruction. You have the Brahma, the Vishnu, and the Shiva. Brahma is creation. Vishnu is sustainability. Things stay as they are. And then the Shiva is destruction. It goes through that cycle. And destruction can be very scary when things fall apart, because we are very attached to how we think things should be, how we want things to be, how we think things ought to be. And a lot of times it doesn't go that way, but we have to have that faith in yourself, that faith in the light.
Yeah.
And that trust, and I think that trust comes from knowing who you truly are at the deepest level, that essence, that loving awareness.
He sprinkled it. We did it. Every episode we do a little papa, a little bam bam. That was a shout out to Emerald. Legacy. I love that, man. And at first when I'm reading it, because I don't have my readers on, sometimes I struggle to comprehend what I'm reading when I'm struggling to see.
Yeah.
But now thanks to you and your interpretation, yeah, it helped me settle into how personally for me, and maybe for some of you out there, you have similar situation or a stagnation of sort, right? Because we talked about the circles, as Ray brought up, and that's that whirlpool of stagnation, man. There's the only thing that you're creating in that, hopefully, is some awareness, because we all go through those periods. They're not bad, they're essential. Like there's always going to be a period of time in your life where you're stagnating, right? It just depends on how long you consciously decide to stay there and then make a shift, right? So yeah, interesting. I love the place, and they know this, that hired me recently, a few months ago. I was hired because the season was upon us. right? Like it was about to happen. And I've recently been furloughed, not fired, furloughed. So I've temporarily, my employment's been put on hold because they're making some changes. The amount of hours that they're open for, which created less shifts for the people that have been there for years. And again, I was brought in like, you know, for part-time and stuff. So I got in there, got a taste of this beautiful thing. And, you know, at the core of my core, was it the work and the life that I want to forever be leading and living moving forward? No, it was a temporary stopping place to reset and to get clarity on where I wanted to steer the ship moving forward in the sense of career and passions, projects of passions, et cetera, et cetera. But here was this unexpected phone call. I mean, we're about to go into the season, right? The reason why I got hired months earlier. In fact, it was presented to me as a blessing that, hey, we're actually going to bring you in early. We're excited about having you and this and that or whatever, blah, 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 right? And now because of circumstances and again, there's a very beautiful mutual respect here in this relationship. But it's put me in this period of right before the holidays, like I have no income coming in, right? Yeah. But this too is a very interesting pattern for me. And with only 6 minutes left here, thank you, Zoom. I'll wrap it up, right? As it pertains to the wolf card and the number 12 card, and maybe in you and your lives out there, or Ray, maybe something you're going through. I'll give you the last 5 minutes to wrap. So in 60 seconds or less, here I am, Ray. I'm sitting here, and instead of stagnating, instead of the woe is me, instead of the all right, I just need to wait for this phone call so I can start working again. Ultimately, it was temporary anyway. And it's interesting how the universe and the powers of manifestation said, yeah, okay, your temporary is over. Like, will I get the call again? Sure. Will I be available to return? I don't know if I'm so sure. If I tap into the inner wolf, because the wolf is bringing me to the edge of the forest, right? And that's right. The wolf's not guiding me, but that's the scary part. I don't know. The things that I want to do, I've never done. The things that I want to really, where the wolf wants to drive me is the frontier, man. All those things, all those places that people and all those voices that we talked about not listening to say, oh, you can't go there. The odds of making it there, or are you sure you want to go there? Yes, I need to listen to the wolf and allow myself to walk that path versus stay here and right. You get the final 5 minutes. How does this pertain to you, man?
I say, don't fear the wolf. Don't fear it. When it comes up, be mindful of that wolf energy, that primal energy. Listen to it. Allow it to come up. Listen to it. Don't be afraid of it. Just it's going to overtake you, and it's going to be something overly dramatic. Don't fear the consequences so much of it. Trust that you're gonna have those boundaries. It's not gonna. Maybe it's that fear of breaking out of your comfort zone, and you don't know what lies behind that uncertainty, and there's always going to be that uncertainty, but trust in the wolf. Trust that energy, have faith in it, and let it go.
I like that, man, because if I don't, here's what happens. In folks in my particular situation, and again, maybe it parallels yours. If I don't, this is the time. Like the wolf has opened its mouth right now and is grabbing my sleeve. Right? That happened when the phone call, shortly after I got off the phone, and the wolf's like, all right, dude, now it's time. Like, let's go. Right? If I just wait for this phone call, that may come any day. It may come tomorrow. It may come 2-3 weeks from now. Who the hell's the, and that shouldn't that be the scary place? Like that should be the scary. Like, I don't even know if they're going to call. Maybe when they call, they decide, to turn the furlough into something sadly even deeper. Like, hey man, like we just don't have the room for you. Or the million other things that I can't control. But what I can control is the narrative of the wolf. And that's investing in me, right?
Right.
And maybe starting my own business or creating my own art or projects of service, passion, et cetera, that fuel my fire and the life for me and my family and friends, versus just surrendering and hoping that I can just go back and again do something that was beautiful and with so much love and respect, but it wasn't this, right?
Yeah, and I think the scariest part is looking back and realizing you're in the same spot you were
Right.
months,
Yes.
maybe a year ago, and you're sitting there still waiting for some call from somebody or waiting for the opportunity to come back. And instead of investing in yourself and following your passions and creating your own path,
Yeah.
and allowing that wolf, that's the scariest part, is that regret of not listening, not taking those chances.
Yeah. You can't. Don't starve the wolf, folks. Do not starve the wolf.
No.
Don't do it. Don't do it because it's not healthy. Now there's two quick things that we talked about in summation. We talked about suppressing, denying, disowning the wolf, and that has a tendency of making the wolf come back really quite overwhelmingly, let's say. But there's also starving the wolf, and I feel like that. So this one emotionally can be very difficult to deal with. But if you starve the wolf, I feel like that can start hurting, manifesting it in some really detrimentally physical ways. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. And you're like, oh,
Right.
I wonder why I'm having this problem or this pain or whatever. It's because you're starving the wolf. We have a minute left, folks. I just want to say thank you for joining us on our ramblings here, our spiritual pontifications, our Bodhi Bro time together, because Ray and I look forward to this every week just to talk. We had no plan, anything. We did have a plan. We said, hey, we're gonna pull from Ray's deck. He didn't know I was gonna pull from this new deck, and we just love that, the stream of conscious, non-scripted offering for us, and in turn for all of you. So from my heart and our heart to yours, I'm John with a J.
Phoenix Ray. We out.
We'll see you soon. Thank you so much. All links down below, follow, support, etc., etc. Love.
Thank you.
Thank you.